This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Oil prices fell on Friday and were headed for their first monthly drop since November, as markets watched an Oval Office argument between the U.S. and Ukrainian presidents while also bracing for Washington's new tariffs and Iraq's decision to resume oil exports from the Kurdistan region. Brent crude futures, which expired on Friday, settled at $73.18 a barrel, down 86 cents, or 1.16%. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures finished at $69.76 a barrel, losing 59 cents, or 0.84%. WTI was strengthening late in the session until a on-camera argument in the Oval Office broke out between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky over a possible ceasefire agreement in the Russia-Ukraine war.
China's imports of Russian Far East crude and Iranian oil are set to rebound in March as non-sanctioned tankers, drawn by lucrative payoffs, joined the trade replacing vessels under U.S. embargo, trade sources and analysts said. The rebound of sanctioned oil shipments to China, the world's top importer, is easing supply worries that had boosted global oil prices, they said. Washington has imposed multiple rounds of sanctions on ships and entities dealing with oil from Iran and Russia since October, disrupting trade with major importers China and India.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Top oil exporter Saudi Arabia may slightly cut its crude prices for Asian buyers in April, tracking the marginal decline in benchmark prices this month, traders said on Friday. The April official selling price for flagship Arab light crude may decline by 20 cents to 65 cents a barrel from March, 4 Asian refining sources said in a Reuters survey. That suggests the April Arab light price could come at a premium of about $3.25, $3.70 a barrel to the average of the benchmark Oman and Dubai prices, down from the $3.90 for March, the highest in more than a year.
British Energy Secretary Ed Miliband will visit China in March to restart talks on energy cooperation and meet Chinese investors, 3 sources with direct knowledge of the plan said, as the Labour government seeks closer China ties amid worsening U.S. and EU-China relations. The sources, who were not authorized to speak to media, said Miliband will visit Beijing on March 17 to 19, which Reuters is reporting for the first time. British officials have said they want to recalibrate many of the previous Conservative Party-led government's positions on China, particularly around accepting Chinese job-creating investment and allowing Chinese firms to provide critical infrastructure, such as nuclear power plants. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. The European Commission will present measures next week meant to boost demand for electric vehicles, EVs, in the European Union, and envisages local content requirements for car battery production, according to a draft of the proposals. The EU executive will publish its Automotive Action Plan on March 5 to help ensure EU car producers can electrify their fleets and compete with more advanced Chinese and US rivals. The draft, seen by Reuters on Friday, will make proposals to the 27 EU member states on actions they can take to accelerate the uptake of EVs in fleets of company cars, which comprise about 60% of the bloc's market in new cars.
Demand for industrial precious metals platinum and palladium will likely fall if tariffs proposed by President Donald Trump on U.S. auto imports dampen vehicle sales, analysts said. Earlier this month, Trump said levies on automobiles would be coming as soon as April 2. This would mean imports into the country would become more expensive, while exporters to the United States could see demand for the cars slide. The ripple effects are expected to spread to platinum, palladium and rhodium, known collectively as platinum group metals, which are used in vehicle exhaust systems for gas, diesel and hybrid vehicles.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
The condition of France's main wheat crop declined slightly last week to remain near the rain-hit score a year ago, while spring barley sowing advanced quickly during a drier spell, data from Farm Office France Agri showed on Friday. Some 73% of soft wheat was rated as in good or excellent condition by February 24, down from 74% a week earlier, France Agri Mayor said in a cereal crop report. The rating was the second lowest in the past 5 years after the 68% score a year ago when torrential rain put France on course for its smallest wheat harvest since the 1980s.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.